When you are unsure of your value, you won't know how to receive, now be it money, career growth, relationship, or even a small compliment. Many of you watching or listening to me right now might be geniuses in your craft, but you still might be struggling if receiving is tough for you. This video's message is for everyone who's going through a stagnant energy, stuck energy, anger, anxiety, and worst of all, confusion about what you deserve to receive. In the next few minutes, I'll take you through 3 barriers to transcend this resistance, to go beyond the blocks and open the gateways for you to receive. Number 1 barrier is not able to let go of the past beliefs. Now, in my initial years as a spiritual advisor, I used to have this saying that if you know nothing about meditation or spirituality, I'll charge you $50 or free of cost if you can't afford $50, but I'll teach you the fundamentals of meditation. However, if you have been through meditation retreats, if you have read books, attended seminars, and podcasts and everything, then I'll charge minimum $1,000 per hour. Now, this was a joke that made sense to me and many of my students, because if you are already, coming with full of ideas and beliefs about how spirituality should be rather than how it's unfolding within you, it's going to be very challenging for me to teach. Now, I don't crack this joke anymore, in public classes or even on the audios or podcast, because I feel we have become very less tolerant of humor. We react too quickly. Now, my hope is I don't get reactions on this one and we move on to the rest of this message. See, we get stuck on how things should be because we live in the past. We are wired to live in the past. Now, the sad news is the more you live in the past, the more you will live in misery, anger, suppression, and in a very shrink energy where you're constantly watching your moves. You're constantly comparing yourself to the voices that teach you or tell you to stay in the past. Now, I'll share an example. I often ask people, why do you get married? Why do you want to get married? I receive various answers, but the most common denominator in all these answers are sex, loneliness, family's pressuring me, I'm aging, if I don't have this person, he or she may go away with someone else, so I got to grab this opportunity. The more you listen to these answers, the more it starts to feel as if they are talking about a property that they got to possess, and then no one else can walk or look at that property, and that property cannot be accessible to anyone. My point is, simple thing like marriage, relationship has been so butchered because we are still operating to this social construct through the lenses of the past. And marriage has been and is a social construct that promises you predictability, stability, but it doesn't promise happiness. So when I simply quote the voice of my culture, the Eastern culture I grew up in, they say it very openly. Why are you expecting marriage to give you happiness? It's not supposed to give you happiness. It is tough, it's challenging, and do not expect happiness. And that makes me wonder, if something doesn't give me happiness, why do I want to invest my so much of my life, so many years of my life in building a social construct that's not even fulfilling the most essential of life, happiness, joy. Now I'm about to share something which you may not be ready for, and that's okay. And if I cross any boundary there, forgive me, but I got to share this with those who are ready to receive it. Now imagine the person you love. Now imagine loving that person without a social construct. Now, it's very obvious that if a marriage is not fulfilling your basic needs, it has to, go. But I'm taking it even deeper. What if marriage doesn't exist, only love exists? What if that relationship doesn't exist, but relating exists, where you are connecting getting to know the person in a new way every day. So relating starts to happen, but the marriage is not happening. We are completely dissolving the social construct. What's going to happen if you do that? It dismantles the rigidity of society, because the moment marriage or such a social construct dissolves, religion, priest, politician, family, cultural conditioning, all of it will start to react in a very interesting way. And this is why all these elements have so much control on whom you should marry or the marriage itself, because it's such a controlling tool. Now, I'm not against love. What I'm against is the dead, toxic, unhealthy, stagnant energy that creeps in through marriage. The way we have normalized toxicity, possessiveness, jealousy, anger, abuse in a romantic relationship, it's almost scary. It's terrible, because you see murders, rapes, and so much terrible stuff, traumatic stuff happening in the name of romantic relationship. Mental health is collapsing. So are we going to get stuck and still react to this social construct through the lens of past? Have we become so brainwashed by the narratives of the culture, society, or social media that we are not going to change the system that's constantly giving us, mental health challenges, sleep disorders, and butchering your sense of self-esteem? Think about it. Humanity's most important need today is to dismantle, dissolve, and let go of every belief, every system that is no longer serving you. If you can let go of that, you will be able to let go of so much of other unconscious stuff that's simply blocking what you deserve to receive. I genuinely believe it. So if you wish to receive, let go of something that's eating you up from inside every day in every possible way. Because what you're doing is constantly fighting with the symptoms. It's like treating the leaves of a tree, but the roots of the tree are rotten. Fixing the leaves is not going to change anything. I hope that makes sense. Barrier to over-identification as a giver. Now, if your identity as a giver is so strong, so unconsciously rooted in your psyche, it's going to be extremely difficult for you to switch to a receiver identity, simply because of shame, guilt, it eats you up from inside. You have been trained to give so much that nothing remains within you. I've often seen this when someone dies, right? And you go to their funeral or their prayer, and when they start sharing great things about that particular person who has passed away, one of the greatest things is how this person has sacrificed so much of themselves in order to give, and give. And when you get to know the causes of their death, it will shock you to know so many people have died due to stress, suppression, due to the challenges that shows up when you constantly and unconsciously give to others, because you're not designed to overgive. It's going to deplete you, exhaust you. And this is why the resentment happens. And let me tell you a harsh truth. The universe doesn't respect an overgiver. And you cannot expect an overgiver to be respected by family, society, and others, because overgivers disturb the balance of the universe. There are lessons and experiences that you are designed to go through on your own. You can't create shortcuts for anyone. You have to go through that lesson. And when you overgive, you butcher things for two people, the person you're overgiving to and for yourself. In my life, people I have overgiven to, they're nowhere in my life because, like I said, overgivers do not get respect. And the people who have overgiven me, they are also nowhere in my life because it's not the good foundation of a friendship or a relationship. It butchers the love. It butchers the harmony, the affection between two people. When parents overgive, they stagnate the growth of their child. The children who overgive their parents, they become excellent people pleasers. Doesn't help anyone. In my work, I used to think and overthink to even raise $50 in my consulting fee. And this is, 10 years ago, 12 years ago, and I still have such uncomfortable memories of raising, $50 and then instantly asking, is that okay? Is it possible, manageable for you? And these were the people who were making thousands of dollars per hour, per day, per month. They didn't care about $50 raise. It was my own insecurity. And the moment I would think of raising $50, I would think, what do I give? I should give so much that this $50 is justified. And this creates a resentment that has no end. My point is, do you want to receive? If yes, start working on the validation patterns that shows up when you overgive, because you're not overgiving just for the heck of it. You are overgiving because you are trained to give and give so much that it depletes you. But there is a part of you that was applauded when you overgave. Sit with that part. Sit with that version of you when you were overgiving yourself, your energy, time, love, emotions, and someone constantly validated that part of you, but it became a very toxic exchange of energy, because the adult you, the present you, is still most likely looking for that validation. Think about it. Write in the comments what shows up for you when you see yourself as an overgiver. In my work, I teach you to be receiver. I have created a program called Cosmic Download, where you do nothing but simply receive. And we do it through a process of curated meditation just for you. And I don't mean just for you as in hundreds of you, for one specific person. Imagine a meditation, a talk, a mantra, a healing practice created only for you based on your desires, your goals, and your challenges. It's my most ambitious work because I've tested it in my own life. I've tested it with hundreds of clients. Cosmic Download is the way you were designed to be, to receive and not have any interference between you and the universe. If this excites you, check out the link in the description. Apply for your first Cosmic Download. I'll be honored to create one for you. And that brings us to the final barrier, lack of self-reverence. This barrier shows up in two ways, human and spiritual level. On the human level, it shows up probably every day, for many of you. Let's say you are a great writer or a very creative artist, but if you never got validation or constantly or often criticized by the people you look up to, your family, your maybe school teachers or friends, siblings, the chances are it will be very tough for you to receive a compliment. Forget about receiving financial value, just receiving a compliment on your art is going to be very tough for you. On a spiritual level, this goes even deeper, because if you have a tough time receiving compliment, love, or financial value for your art or for the services you provide, on a spiritual level, if universe is constantly giving you guidance, intuition, new messages, you will have a very tough time receiving it because you feel, I don't deserve it. I'm not qualified. I'm not ready. I'm not doing hours of meditation to receive it. I was there once when I would think, in order to receive even a bit of calmness, I have to meditate for, 2 hours. To grow in my work, I would have to meditate for 3 hours. But now, even 5 minutes, 10 minutes of meditation makes me feel open and receptive to the growth, the abundance, the intuitive downloads, only because your self-reverence shifts. Reverence is a spiritual experience. Reverence is a holy experience. Think of your best friend. Friendship, I feel, is such a pure emotion. So let's think of friends. When you met your best friend, I bet you had to spend more time with them. You get to know them, they get to know you. But now, simply sending a meme, gets the job done. Simply sharing an emoji gets the job done because your friend gets you. And if you can think of that friend, send them this video, because friends get you. And the divine consciousness, your inner muse, is the most trusted, reliable friend you can have. And you do not need to spend hours and hours to make your presence felt there. One meme, one emoji shared with the inner muse will get the job done. And this is what meditation, starts to do. This is what spending time with yourself starts to do. I spoke about the toxicity in the romantic relationships. And my friend, unfortunately, you will continue to attract toxic romantic partners if you do not have a well-defined self-reverence for yourself. You want to attract better people, better opportunities, fall in love with yourself, spend time with yourself, take care of your health, take care of your mental health, spend time on your business ideas, creative ideas, write that next book. Show yourself how incredibly talented, creative, and grounded human you are. Then you stay in your frame and others will be attracted to you. In the Eastern traditions, the mantra is very simple. When you stop demanding, when you stop chasing, they come to you. It applies for people, it applies for spiritual, abundant experiences, it applies for everything. Do what it takes to cultivate the self-reverence, and I want to leave one question to all of you. What needs to happen in order for you to finally live with self-reverence? Not just for a day or an hour, every day. Ask yourself what needs to happen, and then share it either in the comments, reach out to me, let's talk, and let's make it happen. I hope this video inspires you, empowers you to dismantle the barriers. And I hope it makes one thing very clear. I deserve to receive the love, the growth, the healing, the calmness, the courage, and there is no stopping me. Thank you for listening and watching. I'll see you in the next video.